Before you jump into the video, be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. Alright guys, what is going on? The Arid Lord is here, back for another vlog. Sorry, it's been a bit with the Walking Dead vlogs. I've been trying to space these out because, unlike other Walking Dead YouTube channels, I don't really want to break down the same information 700 times. This news about Andrew Lincoln hasn't even really been confirmed. I know there's a lot of things and photos that we'll be going over today which will push us in a certain direction. But in terms of Scott Gimple, the actors, AMC, none of those people have confirmed this, okay? So any channel that's telling you otherwise is lying, so take it with a grain of salt. That being said, it's pretty disheartening to see the developments because it seems like we are moving towards a Walking Dead that will not have Andrew Lincoln. There have been some spoilers about some information from the good old Spoiling Dead people. They didn't put it on their Facebook page. They actually just probably put it on their website, and then people are leaking it from their website, which again, crazy. They think, oh, you know, just because we put it on our website, none of our members are going to leak it. There's a video where I rant about the Spoiling Dead because it's this elitist cult of Walking Dead fans who stalk the set, put up pictures, get leaks about the scripts, ruin the storyline for people, but then they hide behind the mantra of, oh, well, I mean, we're doing it on our own private forums, and therefore that way, nobody can know. Nobody can know if that's the case. Or before, in the past, they did it all on Facebook. There was their Facebook page, and that obviously spread like wildfire. All you had to do was comment, and anyone in your feed, your Facebook feed, could automatically see what was going on. So they finally figured out that method wasn't working, and then they went over to a website, which I believe I'm banned on. I'm banned on the ISP, which I don't care. And they think that they'll be able to control it, but again, it's the internet. I mean, and information gets out. So I've always hated them as a group, just because they're like the ultimate tellers of all Walking Dead information. Like, they're the gatekeepers behind the greatest information of the Walking Dead, and they don't work for AMC. They don't work on the set. They don't do anything for the show. Yet they feel like they're the ultimate authority on the show, which they're not. So the reason I'm going off about this right now is because they supposedly information that has been put out there is that basically the nature of how Rick dies in season 9, which is the big thing about Andrew Lincoln departing. A lot of my vlogs have covered this. A lot of other YouTubers have covered this. It's been a depressing topic for The Walking Dead because it basically means that the show could be effectively destroyed and killed in the course of season 9. Like, this time next year, we could have a very different show on our hands, and I don't even know if the show will get renewed for a season 10. I think this season will be a very telling, all eyes on this season as to what happens next, because if it kills off its main character that we've been following since the very start, and puts Daryl Dixon at the front, which again, I don't understand why. Most of the time Daryl's grunting and just wanting to... These past seasons, he's just been wanting to kill saviors. He's just been on a revenge quest. There's been no development. The only development that he really had was when he went out with Aaron to look for people, and then that trickled over into him meeting Dwight and everything that matched up with him and the saviors. So, other than that, it hasn't really been developed, and his character, I haven't really felt has been developed in any sort of great sense. So, for them to now say, oh, he's the main character, I question the validity of that. But to get back on topic, so the Spoiling Dead people came out and released information. Again, this could be a spoiler. The thing is, I'm not going to say it is because there's no verification. Again, you have to take all of these comments with a grain of salt. Just because these Spoiling Dead people say that this is 100% facts doesn't mean it's facts. Okay, so don't believe them what they say. They're claiming that Rick will die in episode 5 of season 9 due to a walker herd, and that it'll either be some type of sacrifice that he makes, or it'll just be him getting caught up in the crossfire in some way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, that's a horrible way to go out. I mean, after all these seasons, there have been situations where Rick has been surrounded by walkers, and he's miraculously survived, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to believe he's not going to miraculously survive. So think about in season 6 when all those walkers broke into Alexandria, and after Carl gets shot in the eye, Rick goes out with his hatchet and just starts slicing people. I mean, he's surrounded by hundreds of walkers, and they're just moving slow. He's turning around, whipping the axe at people's heads, and then the other Alexandrians join in. He doesn't get bit in that scenario. And then in season 7, when they're taking the explosives from the cars that the Sanctuary used to kill the herd, Rick and Michonne have, remember that cable car that cuts all the zombies in half, and then they get out, and I mean, it was funny because I remember our friends were like, you know, how is Rick not dying? I mean, he's just like pushing past zombies, moving past them to get in the car, and he just miraculous. I mean, because the thing is, if he dies to a walker herd, it would probably be a herd of those sizes, because those were pretty sizable herds. So if it's anything of that size, and then Rick just dies, I mean, we're gonna know that it's for the convenience of Andrew Lincoln leaving. See, that's the thing for me. Like, I don't really care the manner in which Rick dies. I know that the only reason they're doing it is because the actor wanted to leave. So whether Negan kills him, or whether Maggie kills him from this little civil war that they've been building up, whether it's a walker herd, it doesn't matter. No matter how Rick is killed, I'm just going to assume, there's no creative decision that went into this. Andrew Lincoln wanted to leave. They needed to figure out some way to kill him. They did it like this. Same thing can be said of Nick's character in Fear the Walking Dead. That little girl just shot him. He falls over and he's dead. They could have easily not killed him. Considering, I mean, this is a spoiler alert for Fear the Walking Dead, but considering Madison dies in the mid-season finale, and she's like the major, if not the main character, just like Rick, to have Nick also die is pretty, I mean, you could have only had one character die, but they had to do two because the actor who played Nick wanted off the show, and then Madison's character, I don't think she wanted off the show, but they just did that for plot reasons. So you end up having two main characters dead because one actor wanted off, and then the other was a storyboarding decision. So but it's different because Frank Delane, who plays Nick on Fear the Walking Dead, hasn't been on the show as long, and the Fear the Walking Dead's not based on any comic book material. The Walking Dead is, and so Andrew Lincoln can see the roadmap for what Kirkman and Gimple want to do moving forward. I've always said that they should really just sit down with Andrew Lincoln and say, all right, look, like, we understand you want to leave. You haven't seen your family in a while. You've been on this show for many, many years. Here's what we can do. We can offer you a bigger pay raise, because think about it. They according to the report, they gave Norman Reedus $20 million to be the lead of the show as Daryl Dixon. Give that money to Andrew Lincoln. Say, all right, look, this show's about Rick. We want you to stay on. Then we can move your family out to Georgia. Like, why don't they offer that? Why don't they offer to basically have Andrew Lincoln have like a life in Georgia? You know, basically Americanize. Like, you know, his wife and his kids can come over and grow up. So that way, when he comes back from a sweaty, hectic day killing walkers and fighting things, he can just, you know, brush off his brow and say, all right, you know, because if The Walking Dead is still this successful, it still brings in millions of people. Even though the ratings have declined, it still brings in millions of active fans and viewers. And if the show has a roadmap for 12, 13, 14 seasons, you should share this information with your front runner and say, look, like, we have a plan in place. Like, we want you to stay on to fulfill the role of this main character, because this is his journey. He's still alive in the comics. He's still the guy who's at the helm, and we want you to be in that same position. So, you know, don't go anywhere. We'll accommodate you however we can. Just, you know, you've been with this since from 2010 to 2018. You know, why stop now? You know, you've spent all this time building this character. All right, it's basically, I mean, think of it as like a writer, like an author, because I myself am a writer. So think about a writer who works on a book for 8 years, all right? They put blood, sweat, and tears every day, working, editing, trying to make the work better. And then at the end of the 8 years, they're like, yeah, but I don't know, no publisher or agent's really picking up this book. Maybe I should just get rid of it, scrap it, move on to something else, and just completely start over. Like, you would be saying, like, that's 8 years of work right there. Why would you just get rid of it? I mean, that's just, for all of the build-up and character development and things you've done, like, to just end it like that, that's horrible. And I feel that way with Rick Grimes' character. Rick Grimes' character will be destroyed forever if they make this decision. For there to be a 2-year time jump, have Rick be alive, and then have some stupid storyline where he's either an ineffective leader, or Maggie wants vengeance, or there's just some stupid Walker horde that comes around. Whatever it is, it's going to ruin the fabrics of the show. Not only that, I mean, I put this photo up over here because both of those characters that a year ago, they were the front runners of season 8. You know, Maggie, leader of the Hilltop. Rick, leader of Alexandria. You're now saying, I mean, if it's true that Lauren Cohan's leaving, she's going to be on this other TV show, then you have 2 characters, one of which has a baby. Actually, scratch that. They both have babies. Rick is watching Judith, and Maggie has her newborn that is supposedly going to be born when the show resumes. I don't see how you can viably kill these characters. Like, no matter what Angela Kang / Scott Gimple does, I don't see any way you can really write an effective story with these characters not in it. I just don't see a way for that to be possible. Now, there was only one piece of good news that came out of all of this talk. There have been other pieces of news that really haven't favored well. Like, for example, the fucking Spoiling Dead people found this photo. Some people have put this photo up, so it's not like it's exclusive to them. Andrew Lincoln is back in London. Here he is arriving at Heathrow Airport 10 hours ago. Andrew is now home. This photo was by Sarah Michelle. So this is Andrew Lincoln with white, pink luggage at Heathrow. So does that mean he's done filming? Like, is the show still filming right now, or did it take a hiatus? Because, I mean, think about it. There's 2 ways you can think about this. It is, like, right now when I'm filming, it's July 4th. So it's a holiday here in America. Obviously not a holiday in England, because the whole concept behind this holiday is it not being a holiday for the British. I mean, it's independence from them. So I don't know if Andrew Lincoln's going home for that reason, or maybe, I mean, so San Diego Comic-Con is coming in a few weeks, so maybe he's just taking a break until Comic-Con. The thing is, if we start getting casting sightings from Spoiling Dead and other people saying that Rick's just not on set, Andrew Lincoln's not on set, then I think more and more and more and more it's going to cement that this is actually true, and yeah, it's going to be horrible. This was what happened 2 years ago when people were trying to figure out who Negan killed. It was pretty obvious because when Michael Cutlitz and Stephen Yun, who play Glenn and Abraham, when they were only on set for 1 episode and then they weren't present for any episodes further, you could kind of figure out why that was the case. All right, so. But again, this is information that we shouldn't have. I mean, if the show's filming, it should be a private process that AMC and other actors don't leak and people don't get the information. But of course, we live in an age where everyone's nosy and wants to ruin the process for everyone else, which is, again, why I hate the Spoiling Dead site, because it's unfair. Like, we shouldn't have this information. We shouldn't even have the information that Andrew Lincoln's leaving the show. Like, who even, like the website Collider leaked that information, but where the hell did they get the information from? Like, how did they find out? Why is this information out there? Is it even true? And I come to the final point of the video here, because the Walking Dead official page, which has 1.65 million followers, so it's their legit page, it's got the little blue icon for Twitter, they put up a tweet 2 days ago on July 2nd saying, "Don't believe everything you hear." Now, AMC has yet to make any official statement. It's been, how many weeks has it been? Like, it's almost been a month since this information has started circulating and really breaking grounds, and people have been searching and looking for different clues. AMC has got to know by now, because any post they make, hyping up season 9, making some sort of like airing listing, like, oh, you know, we rewatched these episodes of The Walking Dead. Any Walking Dead based content post, people are replying, oh, Rick's dead, the show's dead, blah blah. Like, there's no hype for this season. There's absolutely none. Again, I feel so bad because you had a chance to hype this season up with a new showrunner, Angela Kang, with a new beginning. That's literally what the comic book issue is for, you know, post All Out War, a new beginning. Negan's in jail, new enemies. There's conflict between Maggie and Rick. Civilization's gonna time jump a few years. You're gonna see characters grown up and I mean, this was really a chance to have a new, fresh feeling for the show with all these different communities. But it's basically all the characters kind of aged up, grown up, doing new things, and you have this rumor that's seemingly ruining it because, let's say at the end of the day this isn't true, it's still going to deeply affect your show in some way because it's throwing off the whole social media angle of what people are looking for. They want to be hyped up and excited for the show, and if all they keep hearing is that this actor is leaving who's been on the show since the very start, and that this whole show is about his story, that's like, I've said this before, that's like Breaking Bad killing off Walter White. That's the equivalency. You can't have Breaking Bad if you don't have Walter White, because Breaking Bad, the title of Breaking Bad, is about Walter White going from this little meager chemistry teacher, this Mr. Rogers kind of character, to a drug lord kingpin. It's his story. If you kill him off, which they did at the very, very end, the story ends. Literally, like the Breaking Bad ends when Walter dies, which it like literally as he dies, then the show ends. So that's it. You cannot. The same should be true for The Walking Dead, which would mean that season 9 would be the last season. But I think it's going to be the last season because their ratings are going to drop. I know that AMC might be cocky and say, we have the most dedicated fans ever, and that'll never happen. But they're deluding themselves if they think that's not the case, because I'm one of them. I'm one of the people who is threatening to not watch the show. I already said that was my contingency factor. I think I said this years ago. There are vlogs where I talked about this, where I said that if Rick leaves the show, that would be it for me. But I always saw that as like a far future thing. I was like, years from now, they'll consider killing Rick Grimes off, and he'll be the last guy on the boat. On the Titanic, he's the guy. And Andrew Lincoln said this. He's always the guy waving to the other people who continuously die and leave the show. So I always thought that was what it was going to be. It seems like they're going like they've turned this show completely on its head, and I'm getting conflicting information now because the Walking Dead Twitter account is telling, don't believe everything you hear. So they're basically telling people not to believe the rumors about Andrew Lincoln leaving. But if that's the case, why don't they come out and deny it? Because if it's not true and we shouldn't believe everything we're hearing, then okay, then can you say that Andrew Lincoln's not leaving the show and that the show's not in a complete state of peril right now? But they can't do that. You see, I'm very interested for San Diego Comic-Con this year. They announced that Yvette Nicole Brown's going to be posting it because of all the Chris Hardwick scandal stuff, which that's a topic for another video. I haven't talked about that because that's not really Walking Dead related. I mean, I know he does the Talking Dead show, but that's all that Me Too movement stuff, and I don't need to talk about that here. But they're going to have, according to the listing, it says Andrew Lincoln's going to be at the San Diego Comic-Con panel. It says that Daryl's going to be there, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, your core cast that's still alive. So it's going to be hella interesting to see how that's going to go, because like I said, do you really think that everyone in that audience isn't going to ask the inevitable question, Andrew Lincoln, are you leaving The Walking Dead? Because I know what AMC is going to do. They're gonna deflect, and if they ask the question, they're probably gonna announce it beforehand. Like, we're not talking about actors leaving or characters dying or so they're just gonna not say anything and just let us find out for ourselves when the episode comes out. But again, if everyone already knows, what the hell is the point? Like, Forbes main articles, major pages have already picked up on this information, so I don't know what the fuck secret they're trying to hide. But I mean, that'll be your ultimatum for the show, basically. I will cover that. I'll do like a season 9 trailer reaction like I usually do, but I'll be looking for clues, because it depends how they paint, because every trailer paints like a picture of how the season's gonna look. Last season obviously was all about the war. The season before that was the anticipation of the Negan death and what was going to be happening post show. I don't know what the feel of this one's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be civilization, windmills, different things, things about upgrades and different stuff in that sense. But I don't know in terms of the Rick Grimes angle. Are they just going to kind of omit him? They've already. Let me see if I can find this. If I go to the AMC. This is the last thing I wanted to show you guys. Sorry, my internet is absolutely fucking awful in this little goddamn shack that I'm in here. Oh, wait a minute. Why did they add this? Wait a minute. I thought that they changed this. Wait a minute. This is something new that I just found. Are you guys seeing this? I want to zoom in on this. So somebody told me that they changed Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes face, that they changed him to Daryl. Because if Daryl's going to be the one who got the $20 million to be the new lead of the show, they said that he would be the new lead of the show. And so they took Rick Grimes' face out and they put Andrew Lincoln here. No, they put Norman Reedus here. But this is July 4th. I just went to the page and Andrew Lincoln's back. So what? Wow, okay, hold on a minute. It's funny because they have Alicia, who is the last member of the original family alive for Fear the Walking Dead. I'm surprised they don't put Morgan here. I'm actually kind of surprised Morgan's not the face of Fear the Walking Dead now. But I guess it makes sense because she was an original character since the first season of Fear the Walking Dead. So you would confuse people because Morgan's more associated with the first, the original Walking Dead show because of his involvement and his character and involved with all of the events up through season 8 of the show. But yeah, what the heck? Is there any vlogs or anything about this? This is weird. I did not expect this. Did somebody from AMC catch wind? Like they said, oh, you're not supposed to put Daryl's face yet. People are figuring out. Like, was there some sort of like social media PR nightmare here and they just changed it because they didn't want people thinking that he was actually dying? Huh. Now I'm suspicious. That's interesting. I don't know, man. That's weird. It was Daryl. Like, is there any other official YouTube page? No. I don't know. I'm confused here. I don't know. This wasn't his face. AMC banner. Yeah, so this is the video that I found it from. Oh, wait, it's AMC's Twitter banner. This was Trev's video. Yeah, so let me do AMC. Let me see. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Right here. Yeah, okay, so this isn't changed. Yeah, so look. This is what I thought I would see, you see? Yeah, you got Daryl Dixon now for Walking Dead, right at the forefront. You got Saul for Better Call Saul, and then you got a couple other shows here, which I don't know much about, but yeah. So I love to see these comments just to see what people are saying. That may be true, but nobody likes the fact that Andrew Lincoln is leaving the show. I blame Scott Gimple for this. I know that Andy would love to be with his family, but I blame Scott for screwing The Walking Dead up. Yeah. I mean, Scott. I don't really know if it's Here, let me bring us out of full view here. I don't know if Scott Gimple's really the reason that. I mean, he was showrunner, but they needed. The thing for me is they did need a viable excuse for Negan to stay alive, because Rick kept saying, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you." He kept saying this to Negan, and the show, they really did need a legit reason for Rick to want to keep him alive. And in the comics, it is true. It does come out of nowhere. And I didn't really think about this, because this was Gimple's reasoning why Carl had to die, because his dying wish helps keep Negan alive. And there was really no other character that you could have killed off that could have had this effect, if you think about it. I mean, what other character really could have done this? I mean, Judith's a baby. She doesn't have cognitive thought. Maybe Morgan. I mean, because that was actually my first prediction. Like, before the season started, I thought Morgan was going to die at the end of the season, and maybe he would go back to his all life is precious thing and come out of his mental kind of thing, whatever he was going through. And then he would pass that wisdom on to Rick, and then Rick would try to embrace it at the end of the war. But I guess it makes sense. But the thing is, Carl could have said this to Rick in person. Like, he could have said to him, like, "Dad, you really shouldn't do this, you really shouldn't kill him." But, like, I understand, like, a kid's dying wish, it's the more convincing, logical thing that would keep someone like Negan alive, if you really want to go with that route. So it's for me, though, I don't know why other actors' decisions would be based on that. Because, I mean, the rumor is that part of the reason Andrew Lincoln left is because Chandler Riggs, who plays Carl, he was booted off the show, and he wasn't too happy about that. But he also wants to see his family. So you got two conflicting reasons. But again, the thing is, it's kind of weird, because I kind of see why they killed off Carl. And I felt that there were enough characters to replace him. You had Henry, you had Judith, two characters that aren't in the comics that could be used for screen time as young kids to replace him. So I wasn't concerned about that. But Rick dying, I am concerned about that, because he's not just some kid. He's not just a Henry. He's not just a Judith who can just be replaced just willy-nilly. And, Daryl can just take his place. Like, that's not how this works. The whole story's about him. I think he was in, correct me if I'm wrong, he was in every single episode of Season 8, wasn't he? I'm almost certain that he was, maybe other than, no, he was in 15, yeah. He was in just, like, even if he had, like, a very brief scene, I think he was in every single episode of Season 8, which, for past seasons, that wasn't the case. 7, I know for sure. 6, I know for sure he wasn't in every one. 5, I know he wasn't. Yeah, so I think Season 8 is, like, the first season in a while that he's been in every single freaking episode. I can imagine him getting tired out from that, but at the same time, I always think the story is most effective and it's the most fun when he's in the driver's seat, because he should be in the driver's seat because it's about his story. Oh, boy. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think for now, I think the best thing for me to do is just wait until San Diego Comic-Con. I'll have vlogs and reactions to Season 9 trailer. I'll break it down, disseminate it, go over it when it comes out. But I think just the everyday speculation, just, it gets so ridiculous. There are so many YouTube channels that cover The Walking Dead, and I'm not talking about Trev's Chan too. I'm a big follower of his content. I would advise all of my followers to watch his content as well, because he does great breakdowns and analysis of The Walking Dead. He's been doing it longer than me. He's very engaging, very intellectual. He's a big fan of the comics, big fan of the show, very knowledgeable. But there are just some other Walking Dead channels out there that just, it's this clickbait nonsense material where they talk in circles about the same topic. Like, that's why I try to spread out my Walking Dead vlogs out so much, because for me, like, I feel like I'm just going to keep talking about the same thing. Like, oh, we don't know if Andrew Lincoln's leaving, but this photo might possibly, maybe not really, I don't know, tell us. And then at the end of the vlog, I'm going to tell you about 7 giveaways so that I can entice you. It's just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, because there's no information in these videos. It's people talking about the same damn topic over and over and over again. All we have is speculation. Until AMC or someone else confirms this, there's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say. Like, talk about other aspects of the show, but it's just this circuitous crap about, oh, did you see Andrew Lincoln, took a shit in Ohio, and now all of a sudden he's in Nevada, and now he's on a space shuttle going to Mars? It's just like, like, come on, guys. It's just, ugh. I don't know. There's some particular channels that I have this animosity towards, but that might be a vlog for another day, because there are some other Walking Dead YouTubers who I do watch who I think very highly of, and there are others that I think very negatively of, because I think they add nothing to the community at all. And so maybe I'll talk about that at some point, because it frustrates me that these viewers dominate the Walking Dead space when I don't believe they deserve it at all. So we'll see where the show goes. Again, that's why I've tried to make the videos sparse. I don't want every single vlog to be a downer about this show. You should be getting some type of different content from me when we go over this material. So yeah, with all that being said, hope you guys have a nice holiday. Thanks for watching. We're just gonna, there's only a few weeks left. We're in July. There's only a few weeks left until Comic-Con airs. We're gonna have to just be patient and see where things go. So let's go full throttle and hope for the best. So thanks for watching, and catch y'all later. Peace.